film budget, it's all divided by lines. There's line items all the way down. And what everybody calls the line is an actual line drawn between your producer, your actors, and your main creative types, and then below the line is your main working types, the grips, the electrics, the camera assistant camera people, and your caterers, and so forth and so on, and all the locations, and that's all below the line. A line producer, I like to say, works on the line. The line producer kind of manages the above and manages the below. How long to have a line producer on? Why it's good to have a line producer on? I don't think that most producers that I've met really don't understand the financial aspect of making a movie. They understand maybe how much a cast member might cost, or how much a certain location might cost, but not all the producers that I've met really know about the finances. Why putting on a line producer is so important is because they are experts in the field of finance. The producer may bring the money to the table, but it's the line producer that puts it in all the appropriate areas. And the longer you have someone like that on, the better a producer can focus on casting and focus on the creative elements. A UPM is a unit production manager. A unit production manager really is kind of the liaison between what's going on in the business aspect of it and what's going on the physical aspect of on the set. Typically you'll find that the UPM goes back and forth a lot between the office and the set, taking care of day-to-day business, going in and fixing little problems that happen from time to time. A lot of people get confused between line producer, UPM, first AD. First AD is first assistant director. An assistant director is the key person to help the director make his or her day. And what that means is they help schedule the day and schedule the location and manage the crew that's working around the director to make the day happen. Yeah, a lot of people like that UPM first AD combination. I personally hate it. I think it's a bad combination. It's too conflicting. A UPM has to manage the set and manage the money, whereas I believe a first AD manages the film. They're really working with the director to get what the director wants during the course of the day. A coordinator is very important to have. They're the ones who are making sure that everybody's taken care of. They're your message center in an office. They're the ones who know, or who are supposed to know, everything that's going on at all times. Your line producer, you already know why he or she has to be on. Depending on the size of the film, you might have a unit production manager on. Then you'll have to, underneath the coordinator, you'll have runners, you'll have your accounting staff.
Well, to me, one of the biggest reasons to have a production accountant is somebody that's actually watching the cash all the time, accounting for it, putting it into the budget, so at any one time, everybody can see where they are.
Typically, I would say that, like let's say 750 to about 1.52 million, somewhere in there. I would say that your crew would consist of, you would have a production designer in your art department. You would have an art director. You would have a set decorator, a lead man, and about 3 swings that you may shift in and out. Your prop department, you would have 1, probably 2 people handling the props in that budget range. Your camera department would vary between film and video. Film would be, you'd have your DP, you'd have your first assistant cameraman. Union shows, you have to have a camera operator. Non-union shows, typically the DP will operate. So you'll have that to contend with. So there might be a 3rd person in there. Then you'll have your second assistant camera and your loader. So you got about 5 people in the camera department. On tape, however, it's a little bit different. Once again, if it's union, you're going to have an operator, which I just, and some. So for like HD, you'd have your DP, you'd have your first assistant camera and second assistant camera. You don't need a loader. And there will be a lot of crews that will tell you they need a loader. I say, for what? to stick the tape in and push the frickin' button, give me a break. You know, they don't have to go in a dark room. They can just take the tape out and label it. You know, let's move on. Your grip and electric crew typically would have a gaffer, who's your lead, a best boy, and two utilities. Same thing on grip. Key grip, best boy, and 2 utilities. And then make sure you put in some days for extra help, because there will be days where you'll need more rigging gaffers or so forth, and possibly a dolly grip. A lot of times, if you're doing low budget, your best boy or you know, the one of the utilities will handle the dolly, and you give them a dolly grip title. And then everything else, it's like your makeup and wardrobe. Typically on that budget range, you may have maybe one. I just like to have one key makeup hair person combination with an assistant. If it's a union job, I have to have a key hair and a key makeup and an assistant for each. And that gets to be problematic. Wardrobe, you'll have your designer, you'll have you'll have your designer, and then you'll have maybe 1 or 2 people in the department below the designer. Then everybody else is just kind of ancillary. Obviously, you got PAs, production assistants. So I'll go through that. It's your director, your first assistant director, second assistant director, second, and then you have at least 2 utility PAs, and up to 4. Yeah, obviously you got your script supervisor. Depending on the kind of show, you may have a medic. You'll have craft service. You'll have your location manager. Please, if you're making a movie, get yourself a location manager and an assistant, and make sure that they cover the opening of the day and the closing of the day. That can really just throw off a picture. There are a couple departments within a film that kind of run amongst themselves. Art department's one of them. Transpo's the other one. Everybody else, you're kind of managed under the same umbrella. Transpo. Well, if it's a union show, they're going to tell you how many people you need. The Teamsters are very good about that. They will tell you exactly who you need and what you need. If you can, before you sign your Teamster agreement, find someone you like as a coordinator, and then they'll help you, go through the whole union woes. But locations and transportation, they work together. In fact, they're in the same union. And if you don't have really good people in that department, you could really hurt yourself. All these trucks and all the pieces of equipment move at night or when you're off and no one else is there. So as a production manager or as a line producer, I go home and I'm going to bed, and these guys are just getting ready to move all this stuff and set up at the next location. I expect that when I show up at the next location that the star trailers are where they're at, the makeup wardrobe combos here, and the honey wagons here, and so forth. I expect to walk up and see my own little village, my own little city, set up for me. And if you don't have a good transport team, you could walk up and see that, wow, what happened to the honey wagon, and did anyone remember to get bathrooms for this location, and we don't have a stake bed to get the equipment from here to here. These are all things that you'll think of in prep, that you'll work with your locations and your transportation people. And that 1.2 to 3 million right there, that's a lot of fun, especially if it's non-union. There are a lot of great crew out there that'll work for that rate. And as long as you pay them a decent rate and treat them well, make sure, don't skip on the caterer. Give them good food, give them good craft service, and take care of them. And then at the end of the day, if you need an extra 15 minutes, say, guys, and they'll work an extra 15 minutes.